clockwise rotation. Maybe a little tighter. Please deliver your draw with the counterclockwise rotation. Second practice will begin shortly. Please spot. Please deliver your draw, the authorized location.
Mike Rennigan. Mike Rennigan. I'm all set.
Ready when you are. Perfect.
Swift Current is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
We're for agriculture.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Well, if you are in Swift Current right now, you are very likely at the iPlex. And if you're not, you need to get over here right now. There is so much going on right next to us in the hockey arena. The WHL Swift Current Broncos taking on the first place Saskatoon Blades in a Friday night WHL action. And then, of course, right next door here at the Swift Current Curling Club, we are here for the final championship pool draw at the 2023 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. Hello, curling fans. Kyle Jans here from Curling Canada, joined by Josh Uzik, and we are bringing you this draw that has plenty of playoff implications. Before we kind of turn things over to our feature sheet, just a little rundown of what to expect and how the playoffs are shaping up. We know 3 of the 4 teams who will have qualified, Saskatchewan and Manitoba, have both qualified, as has Nova Scotia. Those 3 teams battling it out in some games to decide seeding. Where we, though, are focused today on Sheet C. We have a game here. There's a feature game between Ontario's team, Scott McDonald of the St. Thomas Curling Club, taking on Team Jamie Cooey of the Northwest Territories from the Yellowknife Curling Center. both teams at 6-3. Both teams lost earlier today, and both teams need a win in order to get that fourth and final playoff spot. Only one of them is going to get it, though, and is going to be the winner of this match. Josh, we've come all along this week, and here it is now. It's a big playoff game and a must-win game for both of these teams.
Yeah, it's a playoff scenario here. It's not every single event that you get a win and you're in type game like this on the last draw, but that's what we have here. Both of these teams are thankful to have the opportunity to keep playing for this playoff spot, and both of them are going to have a chance to make the most of it.
Last year, both these teams were here, same lineups. Northwest Territories, they made the playoffs and they also earned the bronze medal. It's been back-to-back bronze medals for this team with this particular lineup. Ontario, they finished with a 6-4 record. They were on the outside looking in through tiebreakers, and they're doing everything that it can to ensure that it will make it into that Final Four this year, where it so desperately does hope to be.
Yeah, we talked so much about Ontario hoping to get over that hump. And I wanted to mention as well, Ontario so far in the event is holding a 1-3 record against teams above 500 so far in this event. They've been taking down the teams they need to, taking down the teams they should, but they haven't been performing as well against the teams that are vying for these playoff spots. So this is a huge test for this team, not only to make the playoffs, but do they belong in the playoffs? Are they going to be able to compete in the playoffs? You know, if they want to get over that hump, this is a huge game for them.
One sheet over, Saskatchewan's taking on Manitoba. That is a game for first place and to lock up that first seed. If Saskatchewan were to win, those teams would be tied, but would get the head-to-head record in that top seed spot. So they're essentially playing for that. Nova Scotia up against Alberta. Alberta not going to be able to reach the playoffs, but Nova Scotia, depending on winning or losing, could finish as high as the second seed or as low as the fourth, depending on results on the ice. So still a lot for every team to be playing for as we head into an exciting Friday night of curling. Lots of teams in the seeding pool just finished up their last game just this afternoon, so they're up enjoying themselves and enjoying good company in the lounge, and there will be 4 more who will be joining them in just a couple of hours, maybe about 2.5 hours, as we wrap up this and we know which 4 teams will be set for the playoffs, which begin tomorrow. The semifinal at 10 a.m., followed by the medal games, which will be later on in the day at 2:30. That's local time in Saskatchewan.
Northwest Territories and Jamie Cooey, of course, holding the hammer in this first end. They're 4-3 so far in the event, starting the game with hammer. On the opposing side, Team Ontario, Scott McDonald, is 3-3. All 3 of their losses have come in games where they start without the hammer.
Laurie Eddy, third for Ontario. We saw her have a pretty exceptional game earlier on and really gave Manitoba everything that it could handle. And it really, that one came down right to the last end, and ultimately Manitoba able to capitalize on some mistakes that were made by Ontario to get that and remain undefeated. Northwest Territories, they're coming off a loss to Saskatchewan. They lost 8-4 earlier on today against a Saskatchewan team that I think is just getting better and better and playing looser as the week goes on, and is going to be a dangerous team to face in front of a hometown and home club audience, essentially.
Yeah, I think nothing short of a national championship is going to be enough to suffice for that Saskatchewan team. Obviously, not only being at home in front of all the fans, but playing in the exact club that they practiced out of. They're going to know this ice better than anybody, especially as you get later into the week. They're going to be a real tough team to take down when it comes to elimination games.
Margot Fleming makes a nice hit and roll behind the center guard. Eddie will follow that around just the other side with some kind of back 8 hackish type weight. Eddie, originally from Lunenburg, Nova Scotia, calls Ontario home, and you may know her best from her very popular curling podcast, Two Girls and a Game. Great weight and just a great choice of weights just to punch that one out and try and get a little bit of that movement inside a little bit more.
That was great rocket management by the sweepers as well. Good sweep by Matthew Hall, got him off at the right time.
Fleming, currently at the University of Waterloo, doing a PhD, researching geostatistics and remote sensing to better monitor snow cover. So she works remotely from Yellowknife and calls Yellowknife home and curls out of there as well. She's had a couple of Scotties Tournament of Hearts appearances and plays third for Team Kerry Galusha.
Not quite enough people inside yet. So probably another 6.
So Scott McDonald first, Skip Stone. Definitely can see some of that Northern Ontario stone. Laura Neal carving this one over. They want to get to the inside. Not quite enough to get a look behind that center guard. Swift Current, this entire host committee and the host facility have been exceptional all week long. Wonderful ice, thanks to Chief Ice Technician Jason Brayton and his team. It's allowing players and teams to make every shot that they need. Jamie Cooey connects with that. Will not stick around though.
Quite an opportunity here for Scott McDonald to get buried underneath that center. Maybe force a tough shot for Jamie. Good chance to put a little bit of pressure on early.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what I think you want to do in an opening end. Make sure that your opposing skip has some kind of shot that they have to make before they really get a good sense to be able to settle into the game too much. Matt Hall, Laura Neal down on the sweep. This one's looking pretty good. It might poke out the other side just a touch.
They're going to have a sliver of it. I don't know if they'll take it on this early. Not really a steel rock either, but might be something that forces them to draw for one. We'll see what Jamie Cooey elects to doing it. Looks like he's going to try the blank.
Good opportunity. They discussed it a little bit early enough in the game here. I think it's certainly worth the risk. We all know how important it is to have the hammer in the even ends, and if they can break here, that's absolutely beneficial to the Northwest Territories. A steal of one in the first end. Not the end of the world, as we know. We saw it in our game earlier on this afternoon, Josh, in the seeding pool. None of it actually stealing back-to-back in the first two ends, and Northern Ontario still battling back from that early start.
Yeah, exactly.
Can they get by? They just clip that center guard, and so it is a first end steal from Team Ontario. They'll get onto the board early here at 1-0. We'll take a quick break with the second end coming up after this.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Here is what cowboy dreams are made of. Strong, calloused hands, open skies, the smell of leather and horses and sagebrush. It's getting off the road to explore, a chance to have a real Western experience. Hats, boots, and hard work. It's finding peace while connecting to the land and with those on the same adventure. Pull up a seat or get in the saddle in our living skies and Badlands. Saskatchewan.
Welcome back to the second and the final championship pool draw at the 2023 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. Ontario off to a good start, opening end steal. Northwest Territories had the hammer, electing to try a blank, but just clipping off a center guard to begin this game. As Laura Neal throws two great lead stones, connecting them basically nose to nose. Nick Keller will attempt to take this out. He works as the administrative assistant, policy legislations and intergovernmental relations. It's the Department of Health and Social Services up in the territories. Good shot for her, for she makes the nose there. She's also competed at 5 Scotties Tournament of Hearts with Carrie Galusha over the years, as well as her mom 1 year, Sharon Cormier.
Here's Matt Hall. Of course, we mentioned it in the early draw. He's now curling out of Saskatoon with the Ryland Kleider rank.
They've had a great run to start this season, winning the U25 Next Gen Classic, a new event that was in its second year, or held early on in Edmonton at the Saville Community Sports Center. And with that victory in that event, at the U25 event, the team got to make the trip out to Oakville, Ontario for the PointsBet Invitational and had a great run and picked up an upset win over Kevin Cooey at that event. So a good exposure, good chance to get out there and play some top teams. And you know that they will be gunning very hard for a men's berth to be what is going to be a hometown Montana's Brier for whichever team comes out of Saskatchewan this year, with that event occurring March 1st to 10th in Regina.
They also got invited to the Tier 2 Grand Slam Curling Challenge this year.
Yes, they absolutely did.
Really endless accolades for that team so far this season. Matt Hall again.
It was Matt Hall, as we mentioned in our last broadcast that we did with Ontario. He made the move out to British Columbia in his last year of juniors to represent British Columbia with Tyler Tardy. That move paid dividends as they won the 2019 Junior Championship, also the gold medal at the World Championship that year. And who did they bring as fifth to that event in Liverpool at the World Juniors? It was none other than Ryland Kleider, athlete and competitor that they were very used to, as he was always a perennial front runner in Saskatchewan at those junior events, and got to know each other through there, and then that made the connection later on in life as they now curl in men's together. So Ontario, great opportunity to sit to and really apply some pressure on the Northwest Territories and force them into one. And that's kind of the last thing that you want to do after giving up a steal. You want to at least make sure that you're in a position to find a way to get your deuce back. No problem for Eddie. Makes that and even gets a nice little roll to the outside, just evading that one-shot stone in the top four.
But it does leave Jamie Cooey the ability to roll right under. And that rock will be real tough to get to. This is Margot Fleming. Third for the team out of Yellowknife.
Keller holding line. Room down all the way. Get a bit of a roll. Pretty good amount of movement, but just not quite enough.
Really close to being so good there.
It really was.
Now Scott McDonald's going to take the opportunity to get that out and roll as far away as he can.
Really? Yesterday you said
all putting all his weight down. Oh, and they just make that roll in. Double looks to be here though for Margot. Enough of that top yellow is definitely showing. They're waiting now. Actually, Megan's trying to bring this one over. They're trying to get as close to nose as they can.
Just going to miss the double by an inch or two. Roll over and stick around in the 12 foot, just biting the 8. Not a super threatening end to Scott McDonald right now. Content to hit, leave Jamie Cooey probably an open shot for one.
Absolutely.
Unless there's a miss here.
Yes, that's the thing. If Northwest Territories is going to get anything more than one, it's definitely going to be because of a miss. but wouldn't leave that up to chance, of course. Not quite the end that the Northwest Territories were hoping to have. Rolls it out. So could be an opportunity here for a blank, maybe, depending on what happens. Of course, we've still got a couple of skipped rocks to come here from Mr. Jamie Cooey.
Yeah, a bit of a break for the Northwest Territories rink there. Probably we're looking at best taking an open shot for one, but the rollout leaves them the opportunity to blank here, which is probably what they'd like to do.
Parsons was down holding the line. Now they're trying to bring it over, so it must be close.
Nice shot by Cooey.
But if you change your mind,
Scott McDonald, accident benefits claim adjuster for Intact Insurance. It's a brave man. I mean, you're brave to become a skip. Skip is a tough position to play, and you really got to back your thought, back your strategy, and be able to pull out the big shots when it matters most. But he's also pretty brave. He signed up on a marathon on a whim without any training, and he managed to run it all and finish the race. He didn't tell us what his time was. I'd be curious to know that, but that's brave. That's brave.
No, I ran a 5K this past summer with no training. 5 kilometers, that was it. Nearly killed me. I'm very proud of myself, but holy.
Jamie Cooey in the Northwest Territories attempting to blank this end. Broom down, must be close. Wham, and that is it. So the Northwest Territories blank the second end, will retain the hammer in the third. We'll be back to bring that action to you after this.
I've been raised on the farm since day one, so I was born into it. My grandfather came in here in 1905. I want to continue the farm for him and generations to come. So
I think it's a privilege that we get to be here. It's just a wonderful way of life.
You know, what job is there that you can go to work with your dad and brother, with your kids by your side? Doesn't get much better than that.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
Welcome back to the Swift Current Curling Club. Kyle Jans, Josh Uzik on the call here for this championship pool game. Northwest Territories blanking the last end. As we know, winner of this game gets the fourth and final spot in the playoffs. Big opportunity for both. And for Northwest Territories, looking to continue what's been a very favorable streak for the territory at the Mixed Canadian Championship. They've qualified for the playoffs in the past three consecutive years, so 2022, 21, and 20. Every year the team has made it to the playoffs and earned bronze in all three of those years as well. So it's been a bronze medal streak, and certainly it's quite the accomplishment, but this is a team that is looking to take it one step further. But it's playoff hopes and dreams will all lie on this game here.
Well, I'm sure Jamie Cooey's sick of taking home bronze medals. He's got one at the Brier as well. I think it was 2012 in Saskatoon.
Just outside of it, yeah. Did qualify for the playoffs. And that was a great run that he had that year.
Yeah, while we're on the topic of getting over humps, I'm sure he wants to get over that one. This is Matt Hall now. Tap back by Matt Hall goes a little bit deep.
Yeah, a little bit more. To be so precise with that kind of tap back shot.
Yeah, exactly.
So that opens up some space here, and with those two center rocks in front of the house, Jamie Cooey is asking Cole Parsons here, his teammate in the men's competition as well, to open things up. They got to stay on the high side of this rock, and that one really started taking off. They're going to just beak it.
Yeah, that's not going to do too much good for this Northwest Territories rink. Switches up the color of the guard, but basically keeps it right there. Matt Hall will throw his second again. He was a Canadian junior runner-up at some point as well, I think. Lost to Tanner Horgan, I believe, in a Canadian junior final as a skip over Ontario.
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, Matt Hall is curled at the Canadian Juniors. He had 4 appearances in total.
This is Cole Parsons again.
Getting another opportunity. There we go.
There's a nice one.
Yeah, really got things moving there.
Spins over to a corner guard as well. That was a pretty nice shot. Can't complain about that one if you're Jamie Cooey.
No, absolutely. That's exactly what they needed at this point, too. They have their own colored corner guards, really setting things up for them now. Ontario is shot though, so they'll attempt to get a second one under cover here, keeping them as separated as possible.
This is Laurie Eddy now, third for this Ontario rink out of St. Thomas.
Oh, by both those guards beautifully.
Really beautiful shot by Laurie.
She has not been missing much all week long. That's been such a huge benefit and great help to this Ontarian team. And with that rock just inaccessible, it's forcing the Territories to move to the other side of the sheet. Both sweepers down. We'll get by that corner. We'll bring it as far over as they can. Still a little bit open though.
Definitely got a piece of it. Look like they might throw some soft weight here, try and get to it. Here's Laurie Eddy's second of the end.
Eddy has 3 Scotties Tournament of Hearts appearances in her career. Her first back in 1997, winning the silver medal with Ontario. Most recently, 2020 and 2021, where she led the young Nunavut squad. Trying to sneak by the corner, but just clips.
Did my research as well. She was the alternate for Sherry McGaw as a runner-up at the 2013 Olympic curling trials.
That's correct. That was in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Lost to the hometown Jennifer Jones. They went on to win a gold at Sochi, but that was an incredible run by Sherry and her team that week as well.
This is Margot Fleming, her second here in the third end.
Both sweepers down. They're close to that guard, but they get by.
Well, they snuck that by beautifully.
So now Northwest Territories sitting 1 and 2. However, they are staggered enough that it looks like there is a run back double type of opportunity. This is a big shot for Scott McDonald to open with here. Here it comes. Matt Hall holding the line, 1-2. Jam it, but they do leave that redstone now much more open.
That's still definitely a positive for this Ontario ring. Moved some stuff around, switched out the color of the guard, got rid of one, moved the shot rock more out in the open into the center there. as we await Jamie Cooey's first rock of the third end.
Discussion on what exactly to do. And, electing for a corner freeze on that yellow shot in the top 8 foot is the call. Aim to get second shot out of that, and then that does challenge the Ontario team. Do they try and freeze on the Northwest Territories shot stone? Do they take it out, which would essentially give up a 2? So it could leave Ontario with a few questions here, but they have to make this shot first. They're dragging it as far as they can. They click it a touch and they will not get second shot out of that. So that takes a lot of the questioning out of it for Ontario.
That's
really
a real tough miss. Really close on that one.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's so close, just a little bit up on the weight, but then also they needed to sweep to make sure that they were getting the line there. All right, here comes Ontario with their last one of this end. Right on the beak.
Solid shot from Scott. It seems like that just close miss by Jamie Koo on his last is the difference between a force and a deuce for Team Northwest Territories in this end.
Yeah, I think Jamie is eyeing up that, looking at the angle, it's a really flat double though. But also looking at it now, it'd have to be almost a triple.
If there's ever a last name that can make something like that, it's probably Koo. See if Jamie can live up to it. I don't know if he'll take it on or not.
Yeah, I can't quite tell. We'll see with how much weight he comes out with, and that'll be very much a Cooey-esque shot.
Yeah. You can see Cole Parsons take off his gripper when Jamie comes down, so you assume this one's going to come fast.
Yeah, he's throwing some weight here. So we've got a big triple attempt here to sit and score. Can they do it? Oh my
Beautiful
gosh.
shot. Wow.
Ooh, wonderful shot. Cooey-esque from Jamie Cooey. They take a score of 2 there on an excellent triple attempt. What a way to cap off that end. Let's take a break and then we'll come back right after this.
We're for agriculture. For growers, doers, whatever it takers. We're for doing things with purpose. We're for the little guy with big guy dreams.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. and all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back. Northwest Territories versus Ontario. Exceptional shot made by Jamie Cooey to pick up that score of 2 and what looked to be really good end brewing up for Team Ontario. But if there's a Cooey shot ever available, we know that a Cooey is going to play it, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, just a brilliant shot by Jamie. Really thought it was really tough. Definitely not a shot I would have called, but called and made, like we said earlier. So gives them a 2-1 lead heading into the 4th. Ontario takes back the hammer.
Jamie in his 16 Brier appearances being showed off on a shot such as that. I think once you have that experience playing so many years and getting to play on that quality of ice, that quality of rocks, and knowing what to expect and how the rocks are going to move, it comes with a lot of experience. And when you look for curlers from the north, it's hard to look past the Cooey family, of course, Kevin and Jamie and sister Carrie Galusha.
Yeah, there's not many curlers out there who have donned a national championship jacket more than Jamie back there.
Laura Neal, provincial constable for the Ontario Provincial Police. She wanted to give a shout out to her dog, Willis, a little mini dachshund. Scott and Laura, also their husband and wife, they got married this past off season. They're getting a second dog the week after the Canadian mix. So they'll be going home and having something new, but I know that they would like to be bringing a pair of gold medals back with them as well.
This is Cole Parsons first in his 4th end.
Cooey not happy with this one. That one wrecking on the center guard. That's a tough break that Cooey's not happy with, as that's going to allow Ontario here, which has last rock, a chance to split the rings.
This is Matt Hall now. Said his name at least 25 times today.
This is our second coverage, or second game that we have covered today of Team Ontario. They had a really close game with Team Manitoba earlier today. Didn't go their way. Now here they are again in a must-win game.
It was a really well-played game, especially by the Ontario back end as well. Just a couple, rough ends in the back half of that game. Let it get away from them a bit.
And that's something that Manitoba team has just been so good at all week long. The games that they've won them a couple different ways, of course, playing well from front end to back end and through all the positions, making the shots that they need and helping and lifting each other up when they can't. But they've also, even when they haven't been playing their best, they've been able to chime in and take advantage of some key misses from the opposition late in games. And that's been the difference. If you are watching the scoreboards, though, you'll see that they are in a bit of trouble against Saskatchewan, and we'll be sure to update you on those scores maybe later on, maybe after we get back from the 4th end break. You can also follow along the scoreboards at curling.ca/scoreboard. And also, if you're watching here on Curling Canada Plus, you have access to all of the sheets and every end of play. You can watch them all streaming live, picture in picture. You can do that thanks to Curling Stadium, which is bringing us the action here via Curling Canada Plus. Scott McDonald jumping in here, wanting to get every inch of curl possible to get as far behind that corner.
Here's Margot Fleming. Gonna look to come around that corner guard there, I believe.
Yes, believe that is the call. With the Territories, they are sitting one, so being able to lock a second one in there and maintain the shot and the second shot would be a bonus.
This one looks like it might slide a bit.
Just kisses the
Glad
side.
Stick around.
Mm-hmm.
Hit the brakes just in time. It's Northwest Territories, sitting two.
We did a Northern Ontario game too earlier. It's natural it sticks in. I was tripped up by that too.
Well, Ontario, Northwest Territories, Northern Ontario.
Takeout coming in from Ontario's Eddie. O'Neill. Can she stick the shooter? Rolls out. I think just past the back line. Again, Northwest Territories with that one in tow there at the top four, using whatever coverage they can up front to try and make things difficult for Ontario.
Good line here for the Territories.
Locked that one on. Beautiful shot.
Will be the Territories' first and third, possibly two. It's definitely close. This is Lori Eddy's last at the fourth end.
Trying to curl right up to the one that the Territories just threw. A little much on the way to just clips the outside. It does unlock it actually, which is also pretty good. Actually, that's a very good outcome. Not
bad at all. Well managed. That's the big thing at this level is when it's not let go with the weight you wanted, making something out of it rather than leaving it to do something bad. That was a really good job by Scott McDonald and team.
rolling that shooter in as well to sit second. So I believe the double is the call.
It is there, a little bit delicate. But after the shot he made last end, nothing's out of the question for Jamie here.
Megan Keller trying to bring this over as much as possible, as much as it can. It's it across. It's it a bit on the face, but does push it back. I believe Ontario is still second shot, though.
I'd agree with you. Scott McDonald heading down for his first to the end.
Now about to make a move on that top redstone that is in the top four that has just been kind of sitting there all end long. Wonderful shot from Scott McDonald. Sitting 1 and 2 for sure. On that beautiful lightweight double.
Didn't actually kill either of them, which is funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of red surrounding the exterior of the house. Is he
nothing terribly threatening?
Is there some more Cooey magic to be felt here?
Let's see, thinks he can get rid of a couple. It's definitely there.
That could certainly turn things around, getting rid of hopefully 2, definitely all 3 could get moving here. We've seen it before, will we see it again? Cooey with lots of weight. Parsons down on the sweep. Just wrecks on the guard. Oh, and just like that, that turns things around a lot here. Wow.
And that's going to be a shot for 4, I believe, for Scott McDonald now.
Indeed it is. Wow, what a turn of events. Cooey certainly not shy to play it. We saw it come off without a hitch the last end there for the Northwest Territories to pick up their deuce. If they would have made it here, it would have left Ontario in a bit of a pickle. But yeah, just hitting that corner guard and now all of a sudden an open hit for 4 for Ontario to take control of this game. So here comes Scott McDonald, last rock of the 4th end. Orietti calling hard. Laura Neal, can she hold this? Calling the clean now. All good, count it up. That is 4 for Ontario. Ontario taking a 5-2 lead now at the 4th end break. These teams are going to take about a 5-minute break. So will we. We'll be back after that to catch the second half action of this final championship pool draw.
Something new and interesting is always just down the highway here. Find hidden gems grown from the ground up. Hidden gems that can surprise you at every turn. Get a taste for the beauty that thrives in a place where we are given space to grow. Get curious in our prairie life and city lights. Saskatchewan.
When you buy a lottery ticket in Saskatchewan, your money really goes a long way. More than 12,000 sport, culture, and recreation groups receive funding from Sask Lotteries every year. With Sask Lotteries, everyone wins.
The Men of Curling calendar is more than a date provider. Each edition is packed with beautiful images and tons of curling information too. Support curlers and charity by buying yours today at curlingcares.com.
Swift Current is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
I was on mute, but I'm here. Okay. Welcome back to this championship pool draw. Let's just take a quick little look around the rings. We saw a score of 4 just to kick off and end our feature game. And as we take a look around, we're going to see a few more scores of 4. Alberta cracking a 4-ender over Nova Scotia, which is pretty big, as Nova Scotia could have guaranteed itself a second place playoff position. So they have a tall task of being able to build up off of that in order to try and secure that spot. Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick, they are currently 3-2 lead for Prince Edward Island as they finish up the 5th end. No playoff implications in this game, but they are playing for final seedings for next year's event. Then, of course, over at the next sheet, we've got our feature game, which is, of course, a 5-2 lead for Ontario right now after they managed to score that 4-ender. And then check out this last game here. Manitoba has been the class of the field so far, running undefeated at 8-0. However, look at 9-0 rather, but now look at this. Saskatchewan opening up with a 4-ender of its own, taking a 6-2 lead. They have a chance to win this game, which would tie themselves with Manitoba in the standings, and what that would mean that Saskatchewan would get the top playoff seed based on head-to-head record. So now in our game, Northwest Territories, they want to find a way to rebound after a rough 4th end. Things were looking good, and I mean, one shot was clearly the difference, Josh, and how this was handled. That could have went very different for the Northwest Territories team had they gotten by that corner guard and made that triple attempt.
Yeah, they were flipping around the whole end. It was Northwest Territories sitting 1 most of the end, and it was a nice hit and roll by Laurie Eddy that got Ontario to sit 2, and a double that came tight to the guard by Jamie Cooey just kissed the guard, rolled through the rings, and set up a huge shot for Scott McDonald to score 4, and that's the difference in the game so far.
Double corners set up by Megan Keller. It's Laura Neal threw her first in, second one just top 12. Another center guard is about to go up from Matt Hall.
Nice start there made by Matt. That'll send it over to Cole Parsons for his first. Cole's had a good game so far. Had a tough 4th end. Bad miss on a hit that came tight to the guard and crashed. Looking to get back on track here.
That's a tough start, just clipping off that.
This one looks really good.
Great pair of shots from Matt Hall here. Wanting this one to just clip out.
Going to show maybe half of it on the outturn side. But Jamie Cooey's going to elect to run this red guard in anyway.
It's certainly not an easy shot by any means here. This is a long raise. Are they close? No, they just clip off that 12-foot one.
Wasn't a terrible call. It was nearly impossible to miss everything there.
Widens the port a little bit, but it still leaves that stone the top of the house.
Well,
With
widened,
another
but not
guard.
for long. Looks like Scott McDonald's going to plug that port pretty quickly here. On Lorietti's first.
Always thought it's a very comfy position to be in if you're a back end player, either a skip or a vice skip, and you're allowed to throw guards. Usually means that your front end has done a pretty good job of setting things up for you, and that's been the case this end here.
It's always a nice feeling, but you don't throw many guards, so sometimes it's a little tough for you. I've had my fair share of skips miss a guard and cost us a well set up end.
Yeah, there you go. Oh man, yeah. So Margot Fleming will try this run back again, or at least maybe a double peel and really clear things out.
He's close.
One.
Beautiful
shot from Margot Fleming.
It's going to spill right out the back.
Margot cleans house.
Clear house, but a lot of mess up front.
Ontario with the opportunity to suck another one in.
Here's Lorietti's second of the fifth end.
Holland kneeled down. Scott McDonald coming up now.
We got a three-person race here to drag this.
Dragging it for all it's worth. They got to try and get it by. They do. Can they get a biter? They just get into top 12.
You love to see a skip that's willing to work, too. Appreciate that from Scott. Trevor Bonneau from Northern Ontario was putting in the work as well in our earlier draw.
Jamie Cooey says this rock can definitely be outdrawn, and after Margot Fleming makes a pretty great shot to kind of clean house, gets the opportunity to reap the rewards from her work and put one in. Sweepers holding this, but they got to make sure that it curls to get off that center guard or the corner guard.
It was tough to miss it that way. That was interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that corner guard would be in play or not, but just a little bit wide, and I think the sweeping, they were trying to get it over there at the last second, but just not enough.
So Scott McDonald's going to have the chance on his first to draw him behind and lie two.
That corner guard has been pushed out a little bit further now, so it shouldn't even be too much of a contention. Hear the cheering in the background for yet another great shot from the hometown Saskatchewan team. All right, Scott McDonald. Both brooms down. It's
Not going
around
to get
no-
past the one in the top 12.
Yeah.
Might still be Ontario sitting 2 anyways.
I think it is based on what I see. So they do get 1 and 2 out of that.
That board's really tough now, though, with
Yeah,
that extra yellow in there.
It's been a tricky path, either whether it's the corner guard or that one in the top 12. Neither team's been able to quite figure it out yet.
It's a lot tougher than it looks.
Double takeout is the call. Now Jamie's taking a look elsewhere.
The thing with the double is you're going to roll under the corner, but are you going to get on the rings? Is the question for sure. Wouldn't mind sitting 2, obviously, but Ontario's just going to lock one behind the center again, and then you're stuck trying to get rid of that one.
That was my thought too. Yeah, you open it up, it's just leaves Ontario an easier shot. All right, so some discussion about trying something else, but that is not going to be in the cards. It's Kui's first. Coming at this with lots of weight. Clips them both out. Leaves the Northwest Territories sitting 1. As we said, though, that does leave now a nice path for Ontario to follow in and put something behind the center.
Yeah, it's a simple call. It's not as easy as it looks, but it's definitely the call you go with. Although Matt Hall seems to have some objections. And they will subside.
At the end of the day, it's whatever the skipper wants.
Don't want to get in his head too much. Scott McDonald's last in the 5th end.
Need to not only sink one into the house, but get it behind the wall of center guards so that Northwest Territories are limited in what they have to play. By the corner, through the center, through the port.
Looking really good here.
Back. Right to the button. Good
Perfect
shot from Ontario.
That's got Jamie Kui pretty hooped. Gonna have to look for something big to get rid of it.
Yeah, that long angle raise is the only thing that I see. There's of course the double corners on the other side on that one rock that would be closer on the other side, just outside of the 12-foot, but this is the call here. I mean, you make it perfect, it's for 2.
You can't hurt yourself any more than you're already down right now, right?
No, it's true. You got to go for it. But when you're down 3 after giving up the 4-ender, the last end, that's not the situation that you want to find yourself in as a team, is making a big 20, 25-foot shot like this.
This is very long. Looking at it, I didn't realize how long this was.
It's quite up there. All right. So here comes Jamie Cooey. Last rock, fifth end.
Cole Parsons working hard on it. It's close.
Make it. Will they connect? They just missed that. What an attempt by Jamie Cooey. But it is another steal for Ontario. They take a 4-point lead after the fifth end. Hang tight. We will be right back after this.
When you buy a lottery ticket in Saskatchewan, your money really goes a long way. More than 12,000 sport, culture, and recreation groups receive funding from Sask Lotteries every year. With Sask Lotteries, everyone wins.
Something new and interesting is always just down the highway here. Find hidden gems grown from the ground up. Hidden gems that can surprise you at every turn. Get a taste for the beauty that thrives in a place where we are given space to grow. Get curious in our prairie life and city lights. Saskatchewan.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
Here is what cowboy dreams are made of. Strong, calloused hands, open skies, the smell of leather and horses and sagebrush. It's getting off the road to explore, a chance to have a real Western experience. Hats, boots, and hard work. It's finding peace while connecting to the land and with those on the same adventure. Pull up a seat or get in the saddle in our living skies and Badlands. Saskatchewan.
And welcome back to the 2023 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. Big game here for Ontario, looking to clinch a playoff spot. 4 sheets out on the ice, and amazingly or interestingly, all 3 of the 4 games that have playoff implications all being decided by 4-point differentials right now. So had some heavy swings in the favor of teams. You can, of course, watch all of those games on Curling Canada Plus right now, which is where you are. Stream them all picture in picture, and as well as this feature game with commentary, so you can keep up to date. It's brought to you by Curling Stadium, bringing you every shot of every end of every game, of every sheet of every draw, of every event that comes out of this club and many others all across the country. Ontario now up to a nice cushy 4-point lead in this 6-2 game after getting another steal, playing both of its lead stones into the house. Matt Hall throwing his second stone, last one of the 5-guard free guard zone rule, 5-rock guard zone rule.
Yeah, you're going to see an interesting end here. Not the best corner guards put up by the Northwest Territories. And I'd be interested to see what they elect to do with them. If they're content to try and go around the high one or the tight one, if they're going to try and make something else of it. It seems like that's it.
Yeah, following that one down.
Might be a tight draw to get to with the high corner there.
And
the tight yellows at the top of the rings.
I agree, yeah. Even watching Matt's, it didn't get by that corner guard by too much, just with how high it is.
But that yellow's open. You got back and you can throw it harder than you would a normal draw. And it seems like that's what he's doing for sure.
So they're by. Oh, and they actually clip on that top yellow.
Yeah, it was a really tough spot to make it through. You really got to miss both of them just by inches. As Matt Hall's back in the half. He'll elect to hit the red just thrown.
Good shot from
He's
Matt
got it
Hall.
with no problem.
Rolls it in too, as a matter of fact, and creates a little separation onto that one rock that it moves over. But now Northwest Territories, they need to kind of make a play on this because it's just too many Ontario stones that are starting to pile up.
Yeah, you never like to be hitting too much with hammer down by this much, but they're in a tough position here with the guards they have up and the rocks and the rings.
Parsons gets two of them moving and out.
Nice throw by Cole Parsons there.
Lorietti, both her and their skip, they are very heavily involved in coaching and training at the younger level. Laurie herself, she's a coach for the Ontario Curling Council's Academy Team program. I'm sure that team and that entire program have been watching the results here closely all week long and cheering her on. And Scott McDonald, also a mainstay at the Trillium Curling Camp that happens in Kitchener-Waterloo. He's done some WCF training camps in Germany as well over the years.
Here's Margot Fleming, her first here in the sixth end.
They need to hide this. That's pretty well behind that center guard as well. Good shot from Margot, but they're doing everything they can in this end, but it's just really coming up in favor of Ontario so far.
Yeah, Scott McDonald playing smart here, not taking any chances. No need to run this back, really. They're sitting okay. They're up by a good margin.
Especially the idea of running back an opposition stone as well into the house. That can go awry quite quickly.
Exactly. Peel made. And it'll touch nothing else. So we're back from Margot Fleming's second here in the sixth. She'll try to get through behind the opposite corner guard now.
Sweeper's switch, just trying to incite a little bit more curl. Trying to get that one.
I believe the territory is sitting second and third. Scott Fleming will try and get to it, though. Scott McDonald, rather.
Yeah, and that Northwest Territories stone still pretty open. I mean, edge to edge, I'd say, with that one that is up way near the top of the hog line, and also with it just being that much higher, a little bit more extra room to move around.
Yeah, it's such a high guard.
McDonald gonna throw some control weight. Knifing it over and rolls just to the other side, and I think doesn't stick around for second shot, but
maybe a tough spot there, right behind that red second shot.
what I was thinking, sets up a bit of a jam here. You almost wanted that to go a little bit further, or just not quite as far into the 4-foot. It's just adds a little bit of extra protection for the team from the Northwest Territories.
Yeah. We'll see. Jamie Cooey's first to the end coming out shortly. Cole Parsons, Megan Keller waiting anxiously at the other end.
Exploring a few different options here. What were you thinking, Josh?
I mean, your default is probably to hit the open yellow. You could also maybe hit the red back onto the yellow and roll towards the opposing yellow.
And that's kind of what they were looking at and motioning
There's a
at
lot
a
of
lot.
different options, yeah.
Kind of tapping that red back into the yellow and then having your shooter roll over to sit in front of the other yellow that is on the right-hand side of the button. That looks to be one option that they're looking at. Could potentially be iced for that with like some hack weight.
Really delicate, though. You never want to just punch your second shot through the hole and then roll out. That's a real risk with that. But
certainly a risk, but his team is down 4, and they're certainly going to need to take a few more risks, I think, to get back into this game.
You're right about that.
This one, though, it looks like they're playing the straight freeze base with this weight, but they're actually maybe a little bit light. They got to drag it up a bit further.
Again, not a terrible spot. It's promotable. Tough for Ontario to get rid of it as well without jamming. But if Ontario can get rid of the second shot red, it is kind of blocking any double chance you have on the 2 yellows in the 4-foot.
So Ontario, with its last shot of the 6th end, was looking to punch this red stone out of play. Ontario could be sitting 1 and 2 after. Here comes Team Scott McDonald. Right through the hole, no problem at all.
Nice precision from Scott McDonald there.
Now, sure, you can hear the applause in the background. That is the sound of Saskatchewan locking up the top seed in the playoffs after defeating Manitoba. So Jamie Cooey in the Northwest Territories looking to play a double to score a couple. One, two, they touch it, but are they going to move it back far enough?
They might have done it.
That is awfully
It's definitely
close. Great shot from Jamie Cooey. He's really come through for this team when they need it. We'll do a measure for old time's sake. So great
Looks red
shot.
to me. What do you think, Kyle?
From this position, looks red to me as well.
We'll get a fact check on those guesses in a sec.
So here it comes around. Yeah, really a great shot from Cooey there. We've seen a couple of excellent shots from him.
We've had a couple shots today where I had mentioned that it was a real tough shot. They might not want to take it on, and they did anyway, and they made it. So it shows you how much I know.
So the measure...
Looks like the official might have said yellow.
I think he said yellow, but they're coming around once more. So let's see. We'll tighten up the screw. Yellow it is. So that is only a single for the Northwest Territories. They'll have this lead now against Ontario 6-3. But let's take a little break, and we'll come back with the seventh end right away.
Here is what cowboy dreams are made of. Strong, calloused hands, open skies, the smell of leather and horses and sagebrush. It's getting off the road to explore, a chance to have a real Western experience. Hats, boots, and hard work. It's finding peace while connecting to the land and with those on the same adventure. Pull up a seat or get in the saddle in our living skies and Badlands. Saskatchewan.
When you buy a lottery ticket in Saskatchewan, your money really goes a long way. More than 12,000 sport, culture, and recreation groups receive funding from Sask Lotteries every year. With Sask Lotteries, everyone wins.
The Men of Curling calendar is more than a date provider. Each edition is packed with beautiful images and tons of curling information too. Support curlers and charity by buying yours today at curlingcares.com.
Kyle Jans and Josh Usick back on the call after the Northwest Territories making a heck of a double attempt, and it came down to a measure. We were both wrong. We were initially thought, based on the view that we had, it looked maybe like it would be a Northwest Territories score too, but they settle for the single. Not what they wanted after giving up a 4, followed by a steal of 1. So Ontario in the driver's seat as we head into the 7th end of this game. It's a big game. Winner of this will get the 4th and final playoff spot in the semifinals, which will commence tomorrow.
Yeah, it was an up and down end in the 6th. Not the best setup Northwest Territories had, sorry. Couple high guards, couple that didn't get over as far to the corner as they wanted. But they made the most of it, had a shot for 2 at the end, and just inch or 2 away from getting that deuce. And that's really going to hurt them now as we get into the last quarter of this game, and they're down by 3 without the last drop.
Yeah, Northwest Territories need to go try and steal all the way out. I don't even think that they can really afford to spot Ontario another point.
No, you're probably going all out for the steals here.
And so we see the double center guards on that, and Cooey and his team calling this first stone from Cole Parsons into the house. They need to freeze it on top. They get by both centers. Over curl a touch though, so that one comes out the other side. Scott McDonald won't pay any attention to that right now because they're going to have Matt Hall do what Matt Hall does best and throw some bigger weight up here to try and get rid of a couple of these stones.
Yeah, Scott McDonald really playing a smart game here, not getting tempted by anything in the rings. Worrying about the stuff in front, that's the real important stuff to get rid of. You know, and that's the way you let teams get back into games where you have a big lead early. It's by getting mixed up with stuff in the house, ignoring the guards, and he's not going to let himself lose this game that way, for sure.
No, Ontario very much on the inside track right now when it comes to picking up the W in this game, and so they're in a position where they don't need to be taking a lot of risks at this point.
Cole Parsons again. And here comes Matt Hall's last for the 7th end.
Last time Ontario qualified for the playoffs wasn't that long ago. Is at the 2021 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship in Canmore, Alberta. Jean-Michel Menard from Quebec won that year, but they did play Ontario in the final. That was Team Mike McLean. They curled out of the Ottawa Curling Club. (2022) Scott McDonald and this team took over the reins for Ontario. Finished just short of the playoffs. They were eliminated on a tiebreaker, and so destiny is completely in their hands tonight here at Swift Current. Win and in. Northern Ontario, or sorry, the Northwest Territories trying everything that they can to get back into this game so that they have a chance to defend the 3-time bronze medals that they have, or eclipse it for a chance in that gold medal game.
J.M. Menard is definitely not a name I've heard in a while. I remember back in the day they had all the curlers at the Canada Cup talk about whose line call they hated the most. Everyone said J.M. Menard. Very fiery guy in the house. I do miss seeing him at the Briars, though.
Oh, absolutely. Curl out of the Ottawa Curling Club in a cash league that he's very prominent in and still has that competitive spirit. They did great also that year. That was Jan Menard, Marie-France LaRouche, Ian Below, Annie LeMay. They went on to win gold for Canada at the World Mixed Doubles the following year as well. So they completed the story, getting that Canadian title and then a world title and getting that chance to represent Canada together. A couple of Quebec legends in Marie-France and JM.
Yeah, national championships are always a lot more fun when Quebec's really good. This is Margot Fleming.
Yes, we see a situation where Ontario is shot stone, but Northwest Territory is still needing something out front. Otherwise, it's not going to be very favorable for them. And that rock didn't curl up enough, leaving Warietti with a hit here. No problem for Laurie.
Really nice shot there. That red's not as easily promoted to shot rock now.
And I mean, you can certainly play that yellow-yellow combination that's just on the center line, but you aren't going to have anything behind cover at that point, should you elect to play that.
Well, the target yellow, you can only maybe hit 3/4 of it as well. I'm not sure how much it's going to spill. As that center guard doesn't actually end up helping the territories too much.
All right, so the broom is down. Looks like they want to kind of just reshape the makeup of this 4-foot here. Certainly are playing at that top yellow, but just to open it up and hopefully create a bit of a pocket that will help the Northwest Territories.
Here's the skip from Yellowknife. First, sorry. With the 7th.
So they get the tap, moves it back, but Ontario is still 1-2.
Yeah, things still firmly in favor of Scott McDonald in the Ontario rink here, you'd think. As Scott heads down to throw his last at the 7th end here. Or his first, sorry. Having a tough time here. 3rd game of the day.
Makes for a long day, absolutely.
It's been a long but fun day.
That it is. So I think Ontario can get both those red Northwest Territory stones out of here, just given how that yellow is staggered onto the red.
That would really be a dagger to the Territories team.
Matt Hall heavy down on the broom.
He's close here.
Boom. Right on the
Can't
beak.
catch the second one. But Jimmy Cooey's still going to have to find a way to get a rock in here to be able to steal with.
Absolutely, and they do have a raise attempt here. You have to be still pretty precise. Like the weight has to be just right. You can't really throw too much at it and then create too much of a backing. Because you really want to try and freeze or lock that redstone on as much as you can. But you have to be concerned about the angle too. You come at it too wide, or you don't get enough curl past that one center guard. Or maybe too much curl rather. You're hitting it on the nose, and that's not going to be useful. You got to hit the outside.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a delicate shot. One that a type that Jamie Cooey hasn't thrown as many on his last so far today. He's thrown a lot of big weight hits. Just trying to get his team at jam so far today. But not as many delicate soft weight like this.
Did have that one long angle raise that, I'll give him credit, he was pretty close, and he did bring his weight down for that. But we have seen a lot of the high hard ones that he's thrown.
That's true.
Let's see what they can do. Seventh end. They need to make something of this. Northwest Territories needs to steal. Need to keep this as wide as possible. Cole Parsons clips it up. Great shot.
Beautiful shot by Jamie Cooey there.
Looks like the double was maybe there, although they're looking at maybe a double raise instead.
The double raise looks pretty natural if you hit the target in the right spot. The shot rock and the second shot are pretty close together. It's pretty hard to touch one and not the other.
They agree with you, Josh.
I like the call. I think it's a good call. You can throw normal hit weight at it as well, which you always feel comfortable with.
Yeah, I like this too. There's just seems like the higher percentage shot. The double definitely there and playable, but I think just a little bit more can go wrong with that.
It looks a little fancier, but your third knows where you need to hit it. It's basically just treat it like a hit and roll, kind of. Scott McDonald's laughed in the seventh end as Team Ontario leads 6-3.
It's a big shot for Ontario. They want a spot in the playoffs. They might get it here as they score 3. And that is it. That is handshake. So a 9-3 win for Team Ontario, and this team that got oh so close last year. They are going to be in the Final Four at the 2023 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. Congratulations to Team Ontario on that. And congratulations on a great run from Team Jamie Cooey. Won't be making the playoffs this year after a great run in a solid event. So that will wrap things up for us. There's still a couple more games on the ice that you have access to at Curling Canada Plus. Head on over there right now so you can see how the rest of everything sets up. You can see right now, Saskatchewan guaranteed first place now after getting that 11-2 victory over Team Manitoba. What a game. 6-3, Ontario has secured its spot. And also, as a matter of fact, might actually get to leapfrog the North Nova Scotian team. We have a 6-4 game here. New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island. That game is into the 8th end right now. And then a big one here as well. Alberta starting off early with a 4-ender. They lead 8-4 right now. Nova Scotia trying to battle back into that. Should Alberta hold on and continue to win this match, a Nova Scotia loss combined with this Ontario win would put Ontario into the 3rd seed and Nova Scotia into the 4th. But we'll let you'll be able to follow that online. Visit curling.ca/scoreboard for all the latest results. That playoff bracket will be going up there as soon as possible after this championship draw ends. It's been a pleasant Friday with tons of great curling, and I hope that you have had as much fun as we had. I want to thank you, Josh Usick, music. So I'm sorry about that. I want to thank you, Josh. We had a great time having you here all week long or all day long. And thank you all for joining us. We're going to send things off, and I hope you all enjoy your Friday night. We're going to be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. for the semifinals. We'll see you then.
Swift Current is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good, and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.